The Three Laughing Sages, a story that will change your perspective on life. In ancient China, in one of its provinces, there lived three wandering sages. They had no home, no wealth, and no followers like the other famous philosophers of their time. They were not interested in fame or power, nor did they write treatises or teach people through books. Their only philosophy was to laugh. And it was through this that they became famous throughout the land. They were called the Three Laughing Sages because they traveled from village to village, gathering in squares, markets, and streets, and simply started laughing. But this was no ordinary laughter. It was so sincere, infectious, and deep that even the most serious, grim, and reserved people could not resist. Gradually, everyone around them, even those who had never smiled before, would start laughing along with them. At first, the people of the towns and villages were puzzled. Why did these sages not speak about the laws of life, teach virtue, or guide others toward enlightenment like other teachers? But over time, they realized that laughter itself was a great teaching. People who encountered the three sages even once began to see life differently. Their worries felt lighter, their grudges lost significance, their fears faded, and their hearts were filled with joy and ease. The death of one of the sages, one day, the three sages arrived in a small village where they were especially loved. However, soon the inevitable happened. One of them passed away. The villagers were shocked. Everyone expected that the two remaining sages would finally stop laughing. After all, death is always a tragedy, and even the happiest people grieve when they lose a close friend. But something unexpected happened. The two remaining sages did not just continue laughing, they laughed even louder than before. "How can you laugh when your friend has died?" one of the villagers asked in disbelief. "Aren't you mourning? Don't you feel sorrow?" One of the sages, still smiling, replied, "Mourn? Why? Our friend laughed throughout his entire life, and now he has left us, laughing. He always said that death is just a transition, not a reason for sorrow. If we started crying, he would think it was a joke." The villagers could not believe what they were hearing. They were used to traditional mourning, to tears and grief. But these sages were teaching them an entirely different perspective on life and death. "He left us with a great legacy," the sage continued. "He taught us to laugh no matter what, and he would not want us to change who we are just because he is gone." The sages then began preparing for their friend's funeral. In China, it was customary to wash the deceased's body, dress them in clean garments, and bid farewell with honor. But to everyone's surprise, the deceased sage had left behind no funeral clothes at all. He always said, "I have already cleansed myself with laughter." The remaining sages explained. The final surprise. When the moment of cremation arrived, the people witnessed something even more astonishing. As soon as the fire started burning, suddenly explosions and flashes of light erupted. Everyone stepped back in shock. Some gasped, while others began to laugh. It turned out that before his death, the sage had hidden small fireworks in his robes. This was his final gift to the people. Even in death, he stayed true to himself, leaving the world not with sorrow, but with a bright burst of joy. At first, the crowd stood in stunned silence, but then they erupted into laughter. They realized that this sage had not truly left. He had simply passed on his laughter, his philosophy, his legacy. What can we learn from this story? This story makes us reflect on many things. We often take life too seriously, drowning in fears, worries, and disappointments. We stress about the future, dwell on the past, and forget to simply live. The three laughing sages show us that life is a game, and we get to choose how to play it, with heaviness in our hearts or with lightness and joy. After all, everything is temporary. Wealth, poverty, success, failure, fame, and disgrace. The only thing that truly remains with us until the very end is our attitude toward life. So why not choose laughter over worry? Why not embrace each moment with joy, just like the three sages did? Perhaps the secret to happiness is simply not taking life too seriously.